How to access unlimited energy, infinite energy. If infinite energy is available to us, how do we let that in? So, welcome to today's MindBody TV broadcast. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo, and I'm sharing on mind body medicine and how the mind and body are connected, how we can allow the mind to heal the body. So, if you've been struggling with low energy, with fatigue, maybe diagnosed with an illness, a disease, chronic fatigue syndrome, Lyme, Epstein-Barr virus, autoimmune disease, long COVID, blah, 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 blah. There's like a myriad of terms that will stem when our energy is cut off. I'm going to share how to open your energy system to allow self-healing, to allow your energy not just to refuel and then you like go depleted again, but to actually live in sustained receptivity so you are always accessing infinite energy. So, welcome. Where are you joining from? I would love to hear where you're tuning in from. For those of you who don't know me, I am a physician who has dedicated my practice to teaching people about how the body heals itself. And so, there are a lot of people with chronic illness, chronic anxiety, chronic pain, chronic fatigue. And there's one major thing that's at the core for all of these things, and it's when our energy system is closed. Opening up the energy system actually allows true miracles to occur because your cells are listening. Your body has the ability to heal itself. And so when we work with this, instead of making it wrong or just suppressing symptoms, we enter a whole new realm of possibility. So, how does that sound to you? There are three things I wanted to share about how to access infinite energy. And I want to start by, just calling to mind when you're doing something that you love to do, how there's a sense of timelessness, how time flies. You don't need to eat, you don't need to sleep, you forget about anything else in the world, and you realize, whoa, it's already how many hours went by. When we're in that state, we are open to infinite energy. We are fueled by source energy. And so the first thing, which all of us can do, even in some small way every day, is do something you love. Now, you may not be able to spend the whole day just doing this thing that you love, but stay tuned because we have a lot of other ways to work with this. But at least one thing every single day that gets you into your heart. Maybe it's a conversation with someone that lifts your spirits. Maybe it's journaling. Maybe it's going for a walk outside. Maybe it's your pet. Maybe it's percolating about a future trip that you'd like to take and just getting the wheels turning about that possibility. When you're in your heart, it automatically opens your energy system. So let me just insert a little sciencey stuff here. Your heart is communicating more circuitry electromagnetically to the rest of your body that affects all of your physiology and your mood and your brain and your thinking than any other energy center of your body. Your heart is the most powerful energy center. And so when you're doing something you love or even just thinking about it, it actually brings your energy right here into your heart and opens your electromagnetic channels. You may have an inspiration to begin doing something differently in your life that never occurred to you before that can radically change your life. Maybe it's a certain way of eating or certain things that you do with your day, or you're all of a sudden inspired and you have the energy to exercise, or all of a sudden you're inviting in resources and people and you realize, whoa, I could do this, I could do that, like new ideas, new opportunities when you're in your heart. So that's really the first most essential, is find some way every day to at least one little nugget, do something that feeds your soul that you love to do. And that alone can open up your physiology for the rest of the day. The second thing is to whatever you are doing, even if it's something you don't like people you need to spend time with, or you've got to take care of certain things, or you've got a job that you just don't really love, can you bring joy to that activity? Now, here's what it might look like. Sure, it can be like putting ice cream on top of poop. Oh, I love my job. I love my job. But you really don't love your job. Versus, can I be in my body and breathe in and out as I do this job in a way that feels good to me? Can I relax and soften even 2% to just let in the fluidity of my breath? Maybe you can also add some positive aspects of like, well, this thing is good. I get to do this thing today, or I get to see that person, or like I'll get to eat this food in the middle of my day, and I'm excited about that. What you focus on expands, and it opens your electromagnetic pathways. It gets you into your heart, so you get that heart activation, and it shifts your physiology and your brain function. So it's what you focus on. If you end up going to that job like, oh, I have to do this or have to do that, or maybe you're taking care of your family, I have to make the lunches, or I have to, it immediately puts you into a closed energetic state. You are less receptive to source energy, and now you're running on your own energy, right? So you got like a certain amount of sleep, a certain amount of food, you got energy in the tank, but that is not infinite energy. You will deplete it as the day goes on. Maybe by the end of the day you're just like, oh, then you got to do the whole thing, reboot, restore, eat, drink, sleep, replete what you can, and do it all over again. This is why so many people get sick and they're not getting better. They have not learned to open to source energy. And these are major keys to that. There's a lot more we go into in a program I created called the MindBody Solution for Chronic Fatigue, where it's chronic fatigue and brain fog. So if you've had unconscious blocks, your cells are listening. Your energy center closes. You are less receptive to source energy. And in the program, we go through very simple activities, journal exercises, like really quick and easy tools to repattern those subconscious beliefs, those subconscious blocks, those subconscious patterns that are blocking you from this state of joy, this state of receptivity where you easily let in infinite energy. Okay, so that's available. We're actually opening that up next week, so stay tuned for that. We're going to open the cart for the MindBody Solution for Chronic Fatigue. Be sure you're on my email list at drkimd.com, so you will get the invitation for that. Okay, so that's the second thing, is like, can you just bring joy to the regular stuff, right? You're going to do this job, or you're going to take care of these people. Can you give it a meaning? This is another really cool way to play with bringing joy to what's there. Can you give it a meaning that actually does light you up? So let's say you're wanting to feel better about your body, maybe lose weight, maybe get more fit, maybe have a healthier body. Every time you choose to, let's say, take a slow, deep breath while you're at work, maybe doing something you don't like, and to just find a sense of ease in your body, you can dedicate that to moving you into your ideal body. What does that have to do with my body? Your physiology is listening. You can actually send the signals to your body. Every time I choose self-love, every time I choose to slow down and breathe, my body accelerates into a heightened metabolic state, into a higher frequency. I dedicate this moment of embracing the mundane, embracing this thing I don't like, welcoming it without resistance, that this then allows my body to be healthier. This allows my body to function in a higher way. This allows me to be in my ideal body weight, ideal fitness, and this allows me to receive everything that goes along with that. That's how powerful your mind-body system is. It's a frequency. The frequency of your ideal state, your ideal health and fitness exists right here, right now. We're just allowing ourselves to excavate everything in the way of that. So you can also, to bring joy, which is our second thing, like find the positive aspects and bring a meaning, give it a meaning. You can dedicate it to someone you love, right? I'm going to take a breath and be patient with my kid and actually just dissolve the angst that was behind my actions. And as I do this, I'm going to dedicate that power and strength to this person I love who's in need. Okay, so, or as it's not about grinning and bear it. It's, can I embrace this moment that I otherwise would reject? Can I just be a little more fluid with what I'm doing right now? and dedicate that opens my system for more prosperity, more money, anything specific that you're intending. When you bring meaning, you open up your electromagnetics. Okay, the last piece I wanted to share is what you focus on expands. And so you probably heard me talk about this before, but gratitude. Can you find something to be grateful about in any moment of the day, especially if your life's really challenging right now or your fatigue is really challenging right now? Can you find some little side benefit? Like maybe it's allowing you to find more grace with yourself. Maybe it's allowing you to ask for getting your needs met where that might have been really uncomfortable for you. Maybe it's allowing you to be really compassionate with yourself, really loving with these aspects of what that state, that problem or the fatigue or not being able to do certain activities, what that is bringing up for you. Every time you let yourself go deeper into the experience with gratitude, you clear it, you heal. This is where the deep healing happens. Your body does have the ability to access infinite energy. What would need to take place for me to open and allow that right now? Now, when you do this, like I talked about, don't put ice cream on top of poop. It might not feel like the yay gratitude you've learned about. It might actually feel like opening up a space for deep sorrow to be released. It might feel like breathing and softening into grief that had been suppressed. It might be really mobilizing to allow the release of anger. Like it doesn't necessarily look like what your mind thinks is good. It's still energy moving. Expression is emotion, energy in motion. And so sometimes when you just find gratitude, I'm just grateful I'm able to witness what I'm actually feeling right now. And maybe what I'm actually feeling right now, I don't think it's good. It doesn't feel good. I'm definitely not in my heart. This is not fun. And maybe it's even frustrating to think about doing something you love every day. I have to do this other thing. Can you find compassion for yourself? Because that opens you into the energy of higher possibility. So find one thing to be grateful for, like truly grateful. I'm grateful I'm aware of what I'm feeling. I'm grateful I have the even 2% ability to soften my body and let some of this go. I'm grateful. Maybe there's a point you're meeting where you're like, wow, I'm really done carrying this old pattern. I'm open as never before. Sometimes meeting deep spaces can really open us. And, you may feel that divine gratitude. Wow, I am grateful for fill in the blank. Make a list of 10 grats. Anytime you're really down, really grungy, or focusing on like the negative in a glitchy way that's not letting it move, drop and give me 10 grats. What can you be grateful for? But be playful with yourself, not like, I'm grateful for my computer. I'm grateful for the sun, right? You actually want to get a feeling generated. I can be grateful, even if it doesn't seem like a big deal, that right now I'm at peace. I can be grateful that even though things seem really challenging, I can be present in each micro moment to allow myself to be guided. I'm grateful that even though maybe my life seems like a mess, there's a strength in me that I could tap into and allow that goes beyond what I might have thought I could do. Maybe there's a way to tap into that. Would I be willing to open? All right, so that's really the moral of the story is, would I be willing to open in the space of my nervous system being in a pattern of closure? That is what opens us to infinite energy. It is here. If you've ever, and please give me a shout out, like, have you ever had that experience of timelessness? You're doing something you love, or you're with a person you love and you're just having the best time. Time flies. You're not hungry. You're not thirsty. You're not tired. You're lit up. That is the state I'm talking about. So you can even point to that in your mind's eye. What would it take for me to let some of that in right now from wherever you are and whatever is happening for you right now, right? Maybe you're in like a really, really contracted state. Maybe you're just in a mundane job and you're like, it could be better. what would it take for me to let 2% of that lightness in? Would I be willing to let 2% of that lightness come in right here, right now? Breathe that in and let me know how you feel. I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I have an announcement for our Circle free membership where there are mind body tools. I'm guiding you in using EFT. And again, we are launching next week live the mind body solution for chronic fatigue. The doors will be open starting next week. You're invited. I'll include the information here for that as far as the dates. What else? We want to make sure to play with yourself, play with your energy, play with these tools. We can hold a lot of unconscious baggage. If you're committed to living aligned, open, accessing infinite energy, committed isn't the same as, yeah, I guess. Am I actually committed to living in that state? And share with me on a scale of 1 to 10. That is what we're doing in the Mind Body Solution for chronic fatigue, is unwinding everything that's in the way of that. I love you guys. We'll be sharing a new broadcast every Wednesday live at 11 a.m. Mountain Time in the Mind Body community and on my YouTube channel, Dr. Kim Duramo. I love you. Please give me a shout out if this touched your heart and share this with others as well. I'll see you soon.